You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Directly from those who know it most, Paul Paslakis, Brad Weisgerber, Salvatore Kuzmano. We are Inside Real Estate. So for all of those of you that have listened, thank you for subscribing. And those of you that haven't, please subscribe, like, and share our podcast. You can go find us at Facebook.com/IREpodcast.com, or you can go to IREpodcast.com, or you can go to any podcast app to listen to us if you don't want to watch us live. So, Brad, Sal, how are you guys today?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. We missed a week. Brad looks like he's been. It's Brad went back in time. It's Movember for Brad. How's that mustache? You gonna grow that mustache out until November, or are we gonna shave that?
We're gonna shave it. Yeah, we're gonna shave it.
All right. Today we got an interesting person on our show. He's all the way from Australia. His name's Kris Reid. He's done some really good things with search engine optimization. He also does a mastermind summit, and it's coming up here in June. So I want to bring him on the show and kind of pick his brain all the way from Australia, sir. Welcome to the show, Kris.
Man, I tell you, what a awesome time to be alive with COVID rampaging the world. It sure is nice to be able to work online, hey?
Yeah, right. And I know we've shrunk the universe so that we can all be together here on the same podcast. Even though you're living in the future, it's 9 p.m. at night where you are. It's 9 a.m. where we are. So it's an interesting dynamic. You lose Sal, you lost Sal.
The future's so bright, man. You're gonna love what it's got in store for you.
I love that. I love that. So today I want to talk to you about search engine optimization, something that you've done. You started off. I kind of want to get into how you got into the real estate world, because nobody actually wakes up one day and says, "I'm going to do real estate." It's rare. So I want to figure out how you got into the business, and then also kind of figure out what your strategies are to kind of help the real estate professional with SEO, because I think that's something that's near and dear to our heart. So it'll be really interesting. So tell us, how did you get into the business, Kris? I mean, obviously you've got a great accent. That's got to help you in all aspects of business. So. Oh
man, chicks just jump at this voice, yeah.
Yeah, right.
My wife still shudders at our first date. She was like, "Oh my God, who is this dude? What's he sound like this for?"
Did you not marry an Australian, Kris?
No, I actually live in Saigon in Vietnam. I'm not in Australia right now.
Oh, you're in Saigon, wow. Vietnam. No shit. You're a man. You're like the most interesting man in the world. Okay. That's awesome. So tell us how you got into real estate. I know you're an engineer by trade, right?
Yeah. So the uncomfortable truth is that most businesses fail, and they don't fail because entrepreneurs aren't working hard enough. They fail for the simple reason they can't get enough customers. And that's exactly what SEO is getting in more customers. It sounds technical, but that's really the basis of what it is. So I'm originally from Brisbane, Australia, studied software engineering at university. And there's two ways to make money as a software engineer. You go move to Silicon Valley and work for a tech startup, or go and work in finance. I took the finance route. I moved to London, worked for a bunch of billionaires, making them more money, which is kind of a bit soul destroying, but they pay you enough money that you learn to forget about it. I was in my mid-20s. I was getting paid serious coin. I had Europe as my playground. I'd go to Paris or Berlin or Amsterdam on the weekend. Life was awesome. My ego was as big as the sun, and I was unstoppable until 2008 came around, the global financial crisis, and it kicked my ass. I lost my job, so did everyone I knew. And there was no work to be had. I went back to Australia with my tail between my legs going, what am I going to do with my life? My career's over. I'm in my mid-20s. This sucks. Right. Being a computer geek, I built an online game just because I was mucking around and learning some new software skills. And I was like, well, how the heck do you get people to a website to play the damn thing? And so that's when I started digging into what SEO is. I uncovered what one of the big secrets to Google is, which are backlinks, built a bunch of backlinks to my website. It shot up in the rankings. I went, wow, this is a lot of fun, and really been doing it ever since.
Yeah, so SEO is something that we focused on in our business early on, Brad, and you know that, because we figured we were a small company And how do we get people into our door? How do we get people to do business with us? And to your point, search engine optimization and coming up when people are actively searching for businesses like yours is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. So just so you know, Kris, there's two ways that people in our industry go. Most people go the social media route because the barrier of entry is lower. I think the acumen can be lower, and you can still kind of get in front of people. But SEO is a little bit more nuanced. It's much more nuanced. You've got to have a good website. You've got to be fast. You've got to have backlinks. You've got to have information on there. And competing in our space in the mortgage world, we've got some pretty big names that we had to compete against. But one thing about SEO that we learned is Google loves local. They love local, right? So we were able to generate business from our SEO. And so talk to us about what your strategy is with SEO. I mean, I know you mentioned backlinks, but what is the first thing someone in our industry should be thinking about when they're thinking about SEO?
First thing you need to understand is, where do you want to be? There's a really great book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the habit number 1 is begin with the end in mind. What the hell are you trying to achieve? Most web designers suck at building websites because most websites don't generate any business.
Correct.
And that's because a web designer doesn't ask that question. And that's the very first thing that we ask people. Where do you want to be? So we can work backwards, right? Just before I got on this podcast, I delivered a strategy to a guy. He told us exactly how many leads he wants per month. Great. Then we can work backwards. And he's talking qualified leads, people that have, understand his product and booked a time to speak to him. So we need to know, okay, how many people do we need in his nurture campaign? So say you want 10 leads a month, right? Then you need to have, what's your conversion rate of people on your nurture campaign to actually book a call with you? Say it's 1 in 10. So you need 100 people onto your nurture campaign, 100 people downloading your lead magnet. So, how many people do you need coming to your website to do that? Say, 1 in 10 people download your lead magnet. So you need 1,000 people to come to your website. It's really as simple as that. That's the beauty of digital marketing. Everything is so measurable, but you need to, all forms of digital marketing, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, they're all measurable, but you need to work out what the hell do you want to achieve first.
Yeah, and for most real estate professionals, it's buyers or sellers or whatever it may be. And for us, it's people that are looking to get a mortgage. But you do need to figure out who your audience is and kind of work backwards from there and how many of those. And you got to be in the same place your audience is at. So that also goes into keyword positioning, right? Like, how do you position your website to hit on those keywords to kind of capture those clients? Is that something that you guys focus on? Because it isn't just a sweet website with a good funnel. It's also, who are you targeting? Who are you going to be in front of? And are they going to convert at that point? Right. So for you
can have a beautiful website with the most amazing funnel, and if no one sees it, it's all for nothing.
Correct. Exactly. So in your mind, when somebody goes to a website, what should they feel and see? Or when they go to search for a product, how do you get yourself to rank? It really is not easy because it is competitive in our market.
It is competitive for any keyword that's worth having. It's competitive, but as you mentioned, the more localized you get it, the better. The longer the tail the keyword, the less search volume they are, but the better they're going to convert. So a really good example of that is, say, the keyword smartphone, right? What the hell is someone searching for when they type smartphone? I'm sure the search volume is gazillions, but what are they looking for? Who knows? Where, if you like the keyword, where to buy a secondhand iPhone 8 on the south side of Chicago, that keyword, the search volume is really little, but if you sell secondhand iPhone 8s on the south side of Chicago, that's your customer. It's going to convert really well. And the same with mortgage leads or sell my house fast or whatever it is. Sell my house fast, my pokey little village. The keyword, the search volume is not going to be big. In fact, one of our clients who is looking to buy distressed properties, we did keyword research around LA. Sell my house fast, LA, it's competitive and there's really high search volume. Every single suburb in LA, though, has sell my house fast searches. So sell my house fast, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
All of them put together turns into a bucket load of traffic, and it's really easy to rank for. There's no point going after really big keywords with really high search volume if you've got a pokey little website that Google doesn't trust. you really need to build up your trust and authority before you can even bother looking at them.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
How do you go about doing something like that? I mean, like what is Google looking for on a website? I mean, why can't you just go to what are those websites that like help
Wix?
you build
like
Wix or something that you can just slap something together? Everyone needs a website. Use this builder. It's like $10 a month, and you can have a website. Does that not Google friendly, or how do you make it Google friendly?
That's for you, Kris. Can you hear us?
I don't know.
Kris, can you hear us? Oh, there we go.
Seems to be a bit of a lag in the internet right here.
Yeah, it's okay. So did you hear that last question? Brad was asking basically, what is Google looking for that authority?
Yeah, so just as you mentioned Wix, right? There's a fabulous SEO tool called Ahrefs. It's kind of expensive, but it's the best tool for SEO. And actually, it has a trial. I think it's $7 for 7 days, and it'll give you so much information. But they do really great case studies. And one they did of WordPress versus Wix. So 46.1% of domains from WordPress get organic traffic from Google. Still, that's 53.9% of WordPress sites don't get any traffic from Google. On Wix, on the other hand, only 1.4% of domains get organic traffic. 1.4. That's how much Wix sucks. If you build a website, organic traffic from Google, do not use Squarespace, do not use Wix. They're all crap. Another article that Ahrefs did, so they analyzed 2 billion pieces of content. 2 billion is fairly big for a case study, right? These are total data nerds. The title of this case study is 90.63%. So over 90% of content gets 0 traffic from Google. So they break it down even further that only 0.21%, so almost no traffic, gets over 1,000 visitors a month. So you can be pumping out traffic, content like crazy, and Google doesn't give a crap. This article is, if you're a super geek, it's really worth a read. It's very long and very verbose. But spoiler alert, the number one reason that your page doesn't get any traffic is that it doesn't have any backlinks. So it's simple. A backlink is a link from one website to another, and that's how Google trusts you. You know, they can't implicitly trust what you write on the internet, because anyone can write any crap they want on the internet. They have to trust what everyone else is saying about you. And they do that by who is linking to you. The more powerful and bigger that backlink, like, you know, if you're in real estate and you've got a big backlink from, you know, Bigger Pockets, then that's a really strong backlink. But also the more niche relevant it is. You know, a good example is one of our clients who's a car wash in Denver. And holy crap, you can make a lot of money with a car wash. It's the beauty of digital marketing. We get to see the insides of people's businesses. But, he's been in Denver forever. And on the street he's on, there's all of these different auto shops. And so what we did was provide content for all of those auto shops on their websites. They're only pokey little websites, but how niche relevant they are. They're an auto shop on that side of Denver. Google picks up that link and goes, wow, these guys must know everything about car washing in Denver. And boom, up you go in the rankings.
Yeah. And that's Google domain authority is really big when we're talking about, like, and it's not just backlinks. And backlinks are not always the easiest to get, because you've got to go out there and kind of get them. But wouldn't you say that speed and actual usability has gone up in importance for Google?
So yeah, I mean, nothing in SEO works in isolation. You can just build backlinks all day long to your website, ain't going to do anything. You can build content all day long, it's not going to do anything. You need to do it all. Google's looking for a great user experience. You know, your site needs to load fast, it needs to have really good content, and it needs to be trusted. You know, and Google's just getting better and better all the time. They've got an army of software engineers, and they're just trying to filter out the crap and provide a good, solid user experience. And the thing is, when you have a new website with no trust, with no backlinks, with no history, Google critiques you at a higher level. So it's really important that you have an audit done and you have all your ducks in a row. Your title tags have got to be right. Your meta descriptions, your H1s, it needs to load fast. Everything. Google doesn't trust you. So they're like really looking at your website through a microscope to check that it's right. As you get more trust, you can think about it like this, that the internet is really, really big. Even Google with its massive computing power can't look at the whole internet all the time. It has to like crawl around, and it'll determine how much time it's going to spend on each website. And the more you can help the Google bot out by trying to make it easy to navigate your website, easy to understand your content, the more the Google likes you and rewards you with lots of traffic. So yeah, help Google out and it'll be your friend.
That's the thing that we learned, and Sal, we've done that on our website. We really try to play well with Google. I mean, and Google's kind of funny. If you just follow their rules, they'll reward you, right? If they kind of tell you what they want, and they will reward you if you just follow their rules. And we've seen, we get leads all day long from our SEO. But the one thing about SEO, Kris, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's never done. It's never finished. It's never like, because somebody else is chasing you and wants that. It's like real estate. I look at it as real estate in the digital world. The quicker you can kind of formulate your real estate, you have it. Nobody can really take it away from you, but unless you stop working on it, right?
Well, I mean, it's not going to go away overnight. Where I speak to realtors that are spending 15, 20 grand a month with Zillow leads, and it's like, are you crazy? You're just making Zillow's brand more and more powerful. They don't give a crap about you. They'll sell those leads to whoever wants to give them more money. And that's the same with Facebook or YouTube ads. Anyone with bigger pockets can come around and buy that traffic from you. It's only ever going to get more expensive. Where SEO, you're building a moat of defense around your business. No one can take that traffic away instantly. There's 10 search results and there's gazillions of keywords. It's really impossible to take around. But the one reason that SEO beats the crap out of every other form of marketing, it's compounding. The work that you did last month, you get this month and next year and the year after. And when we do a strategy for a client, because it gets exponential growth curve. And so we look at the cost per lead over a 12-month period and then cost per lead at month 12, and it just drops significantly. And then month 13, if you decide that you don't want to work with it anymore for whatever reason, your cost per lead drops to $0. It's like, what an awesome return is that?
Yeah. So talk to me how you got into the real estate side of it, because you can do SEO for anything, right? You can build SEO engines for any industry. Why real estate in general, and why have you kind of gravitated towards it?
For sure. And, I've been doing this SEO game for quite some time now. And, all the big coaches and, people always said, you got to niche down. And I was always like, but we can do SEO for any business. It's, why it's so hard to pick a niche. And it was really, really difficult. And then I actually was on Reid Gooson's podcast many years ago. And a dude heard it and went, yeah, that's cool. We should work together. And that's what put me into the SEO, to the real estate realm. I'm like, these real estate guys seem to understand how investing works. And that's what you're doing with SEO. Investing in your website. Yeah. Your business. Years ago, because, it's the more you understand about industry, the easier it is. And so our guys live and breathe real estate. Especially if we have like a realtor. Recently we got a new luxury realtor in Toronto. We got a luxury realtor in Naples, I think the richest suburb in the US. And it's like, it's the exact same thing. You just change Naples to Toronto and you're done. You don't have to learn more about it. Same if we're working with syndication companies. It's like, it's the same. We're like, recently we have a company that does a hedge fund cybersecurity. And it's like, man, we got to learn a lot of crap. Who's their customer? I don't know much about. I used to work for hedge funds, but I don't know how to get in front of the fund manager and exactly what to talk to them about. It's a whole new ball game. It's like, just stick to one niche. It's so much easier, and that's why we focus on real estate.
So how much do you think? Let's say I'm an agent today, and I want to get into the SEO game, and my website is shit, and I have never really. What do you suggest? Where do you start? How much is it going to cost? How do you go about it? Right? Like if I don't know what I'm doing or I don't know where to kind of turn to.
Yeah. So Just a little brag. So one of the realtors who's a top 100 realtor in the US and moving towards the top 10. She's pretty awesome. Her name's Avery Carl. She's our client. A new client wanted a testimonial, so Avery sent her a message, and she wrote this email to me. She said, "I told her I sold 56 million in real estate in 2019 and 158 million in 2020. Hiring you guys and hiring more agents to help with the volume are the only two things I did different." I'm like, what a testimonial, Avery! You're awesome.
Wow.
So she spent 50K with us and got about $5 million in return. So that's a pretty good investment, right? And just last week, we did a whole new strategy for her. She also sold $158 million in real estate and had a baby. Like, what a gun! She's a real inspiration. And now because everyone wants to go.
And the pandemic, right?
And so what our new strategy is about is building up her team and making them a superstar, so Avery can step back a little bit more and enjoy her time with the baby. So that's the sort of success you can have with SEO.
Yeah, that's impressive. And so do you start? Let's say when you start with a new client, Kris, what do you start with? I mean, the story. Are you starting with the website? Are you starting with how do you approach it?
We start every client off with the exact same way, which is what we call a market visibility blueprint. And so it's essentially we have a discovery call where we understand who's your perfect customer and how many of them do you want. Because if you want 10 leads a month or 100 leads a month or 1,000 leads a month, it's possible. The internet's really big, but it's a different amount of work. And where are you currently now? Because we need to understand that. If you're starting out, it's going to take longer. If you've already got something, we can move forward faster. And then we just work backwards. This is how many leads you want, great. This is how many people we need in your nurture campaign. This is what we need in your lead magnet. These are the keywords we need to rank for. And we map out absolutely everything. This is exactly what we're going to do over the next 12 months. And I tell you what, if you follow our process, it works every time. We guarantee our results because we can. You follow our process and we guarantee it works. And the thing that we're always looking at is when someone commits and works with us, we'll ask them, okay, what do we need to do to double the budget? So, because we don't particularly want to focus on, search engine rankings or even traffic. We want to focus on conversions because who gives a crap? If you get more traffic and no more money, you're not going to stick around. I want to know how many more customers do we have to get you before you double their budget with us. And that's what we'll really be aiming at. And as soon as you do, boom, we do another blueprint for you, make a new strategy, and rinse and repeat.
Yeah. So how many real estate clients are you working with across the country, across the world right now?
Pretty much all of them are in America. We have a few in Canada, a few in Australia, but the vast majority in America. And man, we got some pretty awesome connections, which is what led us to the Real Estate Masters Summit, which I wouldn't mind plugging right now if you wouldn't mind.
Go for it. Yeah, I love it. So talk to me about the summit. How about?
So yeah, the summit is freaking huge. It's been a ridiculous amount of work. I am struggling to sleep. It's so exciting to work with these people. We're working with people like Jim Kirkpatrick, who's the vice president of CBRE. My favorite marketer in the world, Donna Miller from Building a Story Brand. I live and breathe his marketing. Ira, who's the president of Eastern Union Bank. We got Avery, who I was just mentioning, talking about how she grew to 158 million. Sam from Real Closers, Tristan from Lab Coat Agents, David Green from Bigger Pockets, like super guns. And it's not podcast style. This is people giving actual presentations showing exactly what they did, whether they're in commercial real estate, triple net leasing, how they do multifamily syndications, how they raise capital, everything. We got 42 speakers in total. It's 100% free over 7 action-packed days, and it kicks off on the 1st of June, and it's realestatemasterssummit.com. And most of that came around because we work with a lot of people in real estate, and quite a good chunk of these are our clients, and if they weren't, they are now.
Yeah, no shit. Well, I think everybody is in this market looking for an advantage, especially in real estate, because it isn't easy. It's really competitive, especially right now. And have you found, how long have you been doing this, by the way, Kris? I forgot to ask you that. In the real estate space.
On the 15th of September 2001 was my last day of work as a software engineer. So almost 10 years.
There you go. So in those 10 years, you've learned a lot, and you've amassed a lot of people. So the summit, so you're saying that it's totally free, which is awesome, right? And you've got a lot of smart people. How did you start getting clients? So you go into this thing and you're like, I'm going to do this real estate thing, or I'm going to do this SEO thing. How do you get your clients, especially being out of country?
Well, we do our own marketing, believe it or not, and it works. We have if you go to our website, in fact, I'll show you an example of a really great sales funnel. If you go to our website, ardorseo.com, if you can't tell from my funny accent, Ardor means to do something with a fiery passion, and it's spelled ARDOR. So if you go to ardorseo.com/IRE podcast, you'll see what's called a landing page. Take note of the video that's on there and the copy on there. I think it's pretty cool, and it converts really well. And if you put your details in there, I'll do a video review of your market and your website. So I'll show you exactly what people are searching for and some simple things you can change yourself to get your message in front of where those people are actively looking and help you predictably grow your business. And you can also note on the email sequences that you get, because you'll get our nurture campaign and you'll see what a sales funnel is. And that filters out the crap. Like, we get a lot of people signing up for these, and it filters people out. Back when we didn't know much about marketing, we'd have crappy leads. Especially because I'm on the other side of the world, I don't have that much time available to speak with America. I have one call in the morning and one call in the evening. That's it. I usually speak at 7 a.m. my time. I'm speaking to someone in California, and 8 p.m. my time. I'm speaking to someone in New York. That's my only 2 slots a day. And so I want to make sure that they're really good leads. And when we didn't have a good sales funnel, they'd filter out. And now people, they understand what we do. They've heard me on a podcast. They see me as an authority. They understand what we do. They understand that you're going to need to invest $50,000. I'm not going to ask you for $200 a month sort of BS. I'm going to ask you for some serious money. You want to make $5 million? Then give me $50K and I'll show you how. And so by the time you're ready to speak to me, you're a really qualified lead. And man, having a powerful website like that, well, makes life pretty fun.
Yeah, I can see that.
But when you first started, right, I think that was in my head, I'm thinking, especially in 2001, right? I mean, Google wasn't even the internet authority at that moment, right? So what did you do was it just trial and error, and basically, how did you become the authority, right? Obviously you have some stories.
For sure. I even started before I quit my last job. I'd already been dabbling around for about 4 years online and floating around the world trying to work out what to do with my life. We ranked a bunch of websites for the keyword backlinks. We used to just sell backlinks. I used to build software, and I liked building software, so I automated everything where you just buy it through the website, and that worked really well. But then we started ranking websites, and then it's like, well, now you can build the content, do more stuff, and then we got into the web development, and then I started understanding more about marketing, going, this is what sales funnels are, and then doing the whole suite. And being able to handle that sort of stuff for clients, it's a lot more fun too, because we get to do everything. Like Avery, for example, I don't speak to her very much. In fact, I had lunch with her account manager yesterday, and she doesn't speak to her very much because Avery's busy building a business, and she trusts us. We understand her brand enough now that she trusts us to do everything, and which is great. And it's a lot of fun. We get to, look at her email sequence, see how they're converting, write those. Look at the landing pages, critique her sales funnel, work out what keywords we want to rank for. That's a lot more fun than just building someone a backlink and not seeing the end result. We get to see how happy she is.
That's awesome. So if you had to give an early company 3 tips, what would they be as far as their website and trying to build a brand online?
If I went back and could slap my younger self in the face, I'd be like, dude, read some more books. I never used to read much. Now I just gobble books as fast as I can. 2 books that really changed my business. are both by the same author, Mike Michalowicz. And I was lucky enough to be on his podcast. And damn, did that generate us a lot of business. It still does, because we actually did a single page optimization on that episode and it ranks in Google. It's good for him. He gets free traffic to his website, and it's good for us because we still get promotion from it. And that was a couple of years ago. Yeah. But his 2 books, one is called Profit First, How to Always Have a Profitable Business, which might for someone that's financially illiterate and dumb like me, that changed me a lot. And the other one, which is called Clockwork, which is about how to build a business that doesn't revolve around you. And it's so important. If it's not in your wheelhouse, it's not what your business specializes in, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, we use a Profit First professional to run our accounts. We could do our financials in-house, but it's not what we do better. We have an accountant firm that does it, and they do a great job, and we can focus on SEO. Same with payroll. We have a payroll agency that does our payroll, because our company does SEO, and we need to be doing it the whole time. And so really, that's what I'd recommend. Whatever your business does, stick doing that and hire a professional, because it's bloody hard to get right, and it's so rewarding. Like having a website that fuels your business growth. Why guess at that? Get a professional to do it for you. Same with Facebook ads. So the Real Estate Masters Summit that I was talking about, we only started the domain in December, I think. So it's too small. It's too short a time to get the 50,000 attendees that are our target, and we're well on track. And so we're using Google ads and Facebook ads mainly, plus a lot of our partners like Bigger Pockets. And we're using an agency to run our Facebook ads, because that's not what we do. It'd be crazy to do it ourselves. You can burn money really, really fast. You need to use an expert. So that's my advice. Work with experts.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, because we do mortgages, and then we do mortgages really well, and we want our people to work with experts too, right? Work with the best. You shouldn't be out there buying your own house. You should work with a real estate agent.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
For sure. And in fact, that's one of the nurture campaigns that we just put together from one of our luxury realtors. Is, and a realtor can easily get in their mind, because they sell houses all day long, but you start thinking that everyone knows how a house is sold and what all the processes are. Most people have no idea. They do it maybe once or twice in their lifetime. And so if you can educate people on that, same with SEO, we educate our clients on what we're doing, just so that they can understand it, and then they appreciate it. You can educate your clients on how you sell a house. Doesn't mean that they're going to go and do it themselves. They go, wow, that guy really knows what he's talking about. Can you do that for me?
Yeah. That's really good. Kris, anything else you want to talk about before we go to 3 questions?
No, I don't know why anyone's still here. Why aren't they at the Real Estate Master Summit getting a free ticket?
There you go. What was that website again? One more time?
Realestatemasterssummit.com.
Yeah, Natalia put it up on the screen. So we do a thing every show where we do 3 questions. They're totally random, and you've got to answer them. Did we lose him? Did we lose him? Aw, man. Natalia, did we lose him?
Yeah, it's probably his internet. He'll probably try to get back on.
Okay. If he doesn't, then I'm going to ask you guys 3 questions. You ready, Brad? You ready, Brad and Sal?
He's back.
Yep.
He's back. Okay, perfect. There he is. Perfect. The internet is a crazy place. You disappeared and you came back.
Yeah.
And you're still in the future. Right?
Back to the future.
So if you could be one animal in the animal kingdom, what would it be, Kris?
Oh, man. That I just watched my octopus teacher, and those octopuses seem pretty smart. So why not be an octopus?
They are smart. They are gross. I think they're aliens. They're aliens.
I watched that. That guy was real into that octopus.
Like oddly into the octopus.
Yeah.
You guys have a question for our boy Kris here?
If you had to live in another country, which one would you choose?
I couldn't live in Vietnam anymore? That's
pretty out there, but yeah, not Vietnam. You've got to move to a different country now.
So this is actually the 10th country I lived in. I was born in Australia, moved to the US when I was a little kid. Then I worked in the UK, Ireland, Latvia, Russia, the Philippines, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Finally,
Wow.
so
Wow.
probably somewhere in Southeast Asia. I like the warm weather.
The warm weather. Yeah, there you go. There's warm weather in a lot of places, but no, that's awesome. So last question: if you could go back to one event in history and be a fly on the wall, what event would it be and why?
Well, my son's really obsessed with World War II, so I'm probably going back and slapping Hitler around to make sure he didn't take power. Would probably be a good thing.
Yeah. That'd be a good thing. Sal's a big World War II buff.
Yeah. I mean,
we had. I'm not sure. He's only 9, and I'm not sure that he's worked out that the Nazis were the bad guys yet. This morning he made this like aircraft that he was carrying around on his head with swastikas, and he had a little Hitler moustache. I'm like, oh, Jesus, kid.
Jeez.
Yeah, you might want to have a conversation with him about that one.
Don't want to spoil it for him.
No, right. Like, hey, bud, they lost the war. It didn't work out well for Hitler. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, again, June 1st, is it, the summit? I want to get that right. It's June 1st, right? It's in June?
June 1st, that's right. June 1st, 9 a.m. Eastern is when we're kicking off.
And then we also have a landing page for our listeners. If you are out there and kind of want to figure out like what your website's doing, I think you set up a landing page, which you mentioned earlier. Why don't we mention that one more time?
That's right. It's ardorseo.com/IRE podcast.
Perfect. Sir, well, thank you so much. I'm going to go on there and I want you to do our website.
Yeah, super. We'll do. I'll do one as soon as I jump off here and send it over to you.
I love it. Yeah, I want to see it. So thank you so much for doing the show, man. Godspeed. We'll see you on the Mastermind Summit.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See you guys later. Bye-bye. Are we done? All right. There he is. That was pretty cool. He knows his stuff. I mean, it's kind of crazy that he can work from all over the country or all over the world, and it just kind of speaks to like how important SEO is, that you don't have to really be in the same state, but working with Google and trying to get people to your website is a pretty big deal. People are looking for that even outside the country, if you can find someone that's good at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over the world. My favorite part was all the places he's lived are all like the coolest accents in the world. Australia, UK, Russia, like the coolest accents in the world. He's lived all over it.
Dude, I know. I have a friend. Her name's Dasha, and she's Russian, and she was wearing a mask. And there's no way I could understand her. She was like, and it's such a hard language to understand, man. I was like, Dasha, I can barely understand you normally. With a mask on, there's no chance. So, all right, guys. Well, that's our show. For everybody that's listened up until this point, thank you for sticking around. Please like, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Leave us a review. You can go to Facebook.com/IRE Podcast. You can go to IREpodcast.com or any place that you consume your podcast. We should be there. Guys, thank you so much. On to next week. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye, guys. F you so.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate, the nation's top real estate podcast. Don't forget to follow us at irepodcast.com and everywhere where podcasts are available.